Hello, this is Natalie from Institute of Health Sciences. We're in the EEG class. We're doing BAUD head measurements for the EEG leads. We're going to be doing from the beginning, starting from the Nazian to the Inian. Then, of course, from the A1 left side peripheral to the right side, which is A2 peripheral. And then we'll be doing the circumference. So that's from right here to the Inian, which is right around here. Then we're going to be doing from the left to the right. So this is the right side, all the way over to the left side. And then we're going to be doing the circumference. The circumference is around the head. It's the first part of doing the 10-20 measurements. Okay, so the first thing we'll be doing is a Nazian. The Nazian is an indentation part right here. The indentation part right there. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder with the mannequin, but the Indian is the back of the head. There's a part in the head where there's like a little ridge for the bottom of the skull. So I'm going to be just estimating it's going to be right here. And usually it's like a little bit across from the ears. I'm just going to give you a measurement of what I think it probably is. So I'm thinking it's probably about right here, right at the skull. Okay. So as you can see, that's kind of slanted, but I'm going to measure it out, make sure it's straight. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to be doing from that is the left ear area, which is the A1, and the right, which is A2. Okay, and then we're going to be doing the circumference. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. So let's measure how much it is from the Nazian to the Inian. You take this and you're going all the way across, all the way to the back. Now right here is looking, I'm going to put it probably at the point right here, and I'm going to straighten it out. So I'm saying it's basically 33, 4, 5, about 36. That number right there. Okay? That's what the Nazian to the Indian, 36. Okay? Then what we do is that we figure out what the midpoint is. That's when we're going to figure out where the CZ point. So 36, half of 36 is 50%, so that's 18. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 18 and mark that at the top. So 18 is right here. I'm going to show you where we're going to mark it. Now move forward. That's where 18 is. And that's called CZ. That's the center of the skull we're going to be marking. Okay. The next step is to determine where the FP, which is a frontal plane area. Just let you know where everything is. The frontal plane. This is the parietal. Then you have the occipital, and then the temporals on the left side. And all these letters, they represent where you are on the skull of the brain. Okay. So then the next point we do is 10% from 36, which is total area, is right where we find out where the FP level is. So that would be right here, about 3 point, I'm going to put a little bit of tiny above 3.5, but that's where it is. That becomes the FP level. Okay. So then what I do is I use my measuring tape to make it close so it's kind of even. Sometimes you can't write exactly right across. You may be dragging a little bit. So anyway, as you can see, I'm going to put it so the FP is right here. Okay. And then once you determine what the FP is, you try to figure out where it is in the middle. Okay. So you just use the nose and say, okay, I need to put a line right there in the middle so you know exactly where the middle of the skull is. The brain is a left side and a right side, left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Okay, so that's going to be approximately, hopefully I'm doing this good. Let's do this. Makes it easier. Use it right in the nose. I have it like in the nose. Try to figure out where the middle is. Okay, so approximately right here. That looks pretty good. It's like split it in half. Looks like it's in half. Yeah, I think that's half. Yeah, about half. Okay, anyway, so now you got that. So that's from the Nazian to the FP is 3.6. That is 10% of the total, which is 36. And we're using millimeters as a matter of fact. So when I'm talking about numbers, I'm talking about the millimeter. You can see from the tape. I'm using the millimeter side. So we're going to take this and up to the CZ level. So 36 minus 3.6, that gives you what? Halfway through. So it's 18. So you do 18 divided minus 3.6. That gives you about 14.4, something like that. Okay. So that's how much the distance is going to be between the FP level to the CZ. But we got to figure out the frontal plane, the front area. So if you look at that, it looks about 18 minus 3 is going to be 14. What? Just verify. Always verify to make sure I got the numbers right. So we do that here to the central is 18, right? You take away 3 and you get 14. Almost 4 actually. Go right here and here. Okay. Ten. Okay, so 14. So we got 14 and a half. So we're gonna give half of that, and that's 30. That's what makes it 20%. So it's 10% here, and then this is the other half, which is 40 left over after 50. So we got 14 and a half. So that's about 7.7, a little bit over 7, and that gives you where the F, which is the frontal. We'll take that and do the line across to make it so it's basically a line that's straight. That gives you, again, here's the FP, which is the frontal plane. So nasal and frontal plane, front, and then CZ. So CZ is right here. I'm just writing the line, make the line a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay. The same thing, you do the same thing in the back. So you can see this, that's the front, and then you do the back. And you do it from the Indian. So it should be the same as I think, because you split it in half, remember? So let's straighten out this before I even finish this. Let's straighten this line out. So it won't look like it's hard when I'm doing it. So let's make it so that's the line. Let me make it a little bit of it. So a little bit even. Yeah, there you go. The line is better now. Okay. All right. Again, so we got this. So this should be still 18. Yep, 18 still. Let's see. 18. Okay, so again, 3.6 on this area. So 3.6 be about right here. Okay. And then from here, let's make this go across. This becomes the PZ. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the OZ. And we're about to do the PZ. It's the opposite area of the brain. Okay. So again, we got 14 again. So we do 7 again. So 7. So a little bit over 7 right here. Okay. So that's the first part. Okay. So we have it all again. So we have Bayesian, frontal plane, frontal, cerebral, parietal, occipital, and Indian. Okay, that's the next thing. So the next thing we're going to be doing is the left to the right, A1 to A2. Okay, let's see how long this is. So we had to make sure we had the lines there, and we take it, and when we put it together, You got to put it behind the CZ level. Okay, so CZ is from there. Okay, so let's see. This is saying from this left to the right is approximately 35. So about 5.5. Okay, so 35.5. Okay, and that's going through the CZ. You can see that right there. So 35.5. So half of that is like 17 and 17.75. Okay, so we got 17, so it's 19, 17, so 17. It's about right here, and you can see it crosses right where the CZ is. See that if you look at it. Now you do the same thing with the left to right. You split it, just making the line a little bit longer. From here to the right arrow to the CZ, again, it's like 17.5. So 10%, first of all, is of 35, so 3.5 for the most part. 3.5, so I'm putting it right at the top there. Okay, 3.5. Then you take the rest of it, you go across there. Just picking a line so you can see it. Okay, this is actually the actual T4. Okay, so then you go from T4 right there to CZ again. Okay, you gotta make sure it's in line with the skull. Okay, so now we got left over is basically 14. I think it's 14. Yep, 14. So half of that 14 is basically 7. So we're gonna put it at 7. Make sure it's 7, and that splits it from 2020. That's right. So 7. So right here is 7. Okay. And again, I put the line across. So you can see it. Okay. The same exact thing on the left side. Okay. Start the left, and it should be the same exact as the right side. So, yep. Again, here at 17.5. So that's, first of all, you get the 3.5 to get to the T3. So T3 is 3.5. As you can see, it's T3. It's basically the same location as the other side. Basically the same location on both sides. Okay. So then you do again up from the T3 up to CZ. Okay. And that's like 10. So we get that. It's like, okay, so 30. A bit down further. And this is about 7 too. 7. About 7. So that's going to be that one. And this level right here is actually, the pain is actually P. Is actually F3. So again, they're close to even on each side. So that takes care of going from the Nazian to the Indian, and then from the A1 to the A2, and then we're going to do the actual circumference. Circumference is the area in between that goes around the circle of the head, around the skull. Okay, what you do is you start and you put it right in the middle of where you put the actual middle of the brain, right? From the right, and you go around to where the occipital, which is OZ, and you go around T3 and T4. So then you can figure out how big the skull is, so you can split it when you're actually doing the reading and the measurement. Okay, let's see what the measurement is for that. It looks like it's like 55 and a half. See? 55 and a half. Okay. So that means you got to break this into 10 portions. And since there's a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere, you have to split it so it's even on each side. So in the front, where you have to do the frontal pain area, you have to put half of that, which is 5% of it, of the total price. So whatever it is 5, 10% of 5.5. I'm sorry, 55, 10% of it is 5.5. So it means you have to put 2.75 on this side and 2.75 on that side. And then everything else should be even. And the same thing will happen in the occipital area. 2.5. So it'll be even on both sides of the brain. Okay. So first thing I do is that if you want to do it the long way, you can do that. But I would just sometimes you just put 2.75 and just say, okay, figure out how far. That's how that would be. So in case you want to do it that way, you can do it like this and do 2.75, which makes it easier for some people. Right, so I'm going to put 2.75 here on this side, 2.75 on this side, then I do 2.75 on the other side. 2.75 on this side, which would be about here. And they should be halfway on both sides. So it looks pretty even to me. I guess almost even. Let's see if we do the line. And then okay. So it looks basically even. Kind of looks even. Let's make sure. So one way to figure that out is just put 2.75 on both sides. It's right on that side. And it's right on that side. Like it's even. Yeah, it is. Maybe I got the lines. Maybe I got the lines make it seem like it's not. Okay. So it's even. Look at the cross part. So right here, this is the even. You got the even. Okay. It's a little bit up, a little down, but yeah. Let me make sure I got this right. Funny. What part of this? So it doesn't look funny. Okay. Now I look even. Okay. All right. So now the next thing we do is that we take this and we circle the skull again. Okay, so we're gonna start from the right side. I mean left side. Let's start with the left side. So the left side of the brain. So let's go from here. Take it from the frontal pain area. You take it all the way to T3. Okay, see that? Where the circle, the dot is. Okay, see that? So you do 5.5 again. So 5.5 is here and there. Okay, then you do 5.5 one more time, which makes it 11. So right where the 11 is supposed to be. Let's go. 5. Okay, so 11 is right here. Okay, take it from here. So that means you got that, and you got that, and you can go all the way across. And it's gonna be like that. Then you take it again from T3, and then all the way to O, Z. Okay? And then this becomes T5. Oops, sorry. T5, which is 5.5. Okay, that one. And then 11 should be not too far from the actual occipital. So that would be about right there. Okay. Five. And that's the middle portion. Okay. So that's right there. Okay, that's occipital 1. O1. Okay, so that's the left side. Okay, so we can just draw the line down generally. So, okay, so FP. Then this one is F F7, T3, T5, and O1. Okay, so now we're gonna do the left side. All right, this is the left side. Okay, so we're gonna start with F2 and go around just like we did with the right side. So we got that part. Okay. We got that. So then we again it's at T4 this time. So O2 to T4. So 5.5 is right here. Okay. And then of course 11 is right here. Okay. We take this and go around here. So this is T4 all the way to the middle. That's OZ. And you take it 5.5 again, 5.5 again, and this becomes T6. And then at 11 becomes O2. Okay. The final step is to actually make sure the circumference around the head is even. So that's what I'm about to do now. So as you see, this is the frontal, and these are the frontal panes, FP1, FP2. Okay. So what you do is you make sure you can actually see how everything should be aligned right now. This is the middle of the brain. So let's just use these because these are already mentioned. Just go back around the way you had before. So to be in the same plane, because your head is cyclical. So it's like not a straight line. So what you do is you try to make it so everything is in line. And I'm going to use the frontal panes because they are actually even, which I made sure they were before. And then you could just wipe across. I know you see the inch side, but I just want to let you know. So then just this is here, and go around to each one. So this is FP2. Here's F8. This is T4. This is T6. This is O2. This is occipital OZ. This is O1. So just going around the circle right now. So you can 0.1. Okay. Then you got T5. Then you have T3. And then you have F7. And then you have FP2, which is already there. Okay. So if you look at it now, it's all cyclical. So this is the front. So if you look around, they should be even all the way around. Okay. So that should finalize the assignment for session 5. Thank you. Now I'm going to do the measurements so you can see the measurements that I have. Okay. So FP to FP1, FP2, so it's 5.5. FP2 to T, I'm sorry, F8, 5.5. F8 to T4, 5.5. T4 to T6, about 5.75. Okay. Then you got T6 to O2, 5.5. Then we have O1 to O2, 5.5. Then we got O2, it's a little short in this side. O2 looks about almost like 4.75. 1.75. And then we got the T5 to T3, which is 5.5. Then we got T3 to F7, which is basically 5.25. We got F7 to FP2. FP1 is 5.5. Okay. Right, so that was the measurements for the circumference area.